Today we're going to be going over the top 5 things that you should get for your Jeep Wrangler immediately after getting one. Now, if you're anything like me, whenever you first get a Jeep Wrangler, one of the first things you're thinking about are the accessories that you're going to add. And I can tell you that can be an extremely long list. But some of the best advice that I can give you is to not rush the big stuff. I know everybody's going to be thinking about lift kits, wheels, tires, armor, fender, stuff like that, but that's not stuff that you want to rush. Go ahead and get some of the little accessories out of the way that you know you're going to get regardless. That way you have a little bit more time to plan out the more expensive items like the wheels, tires, lift kit, etc. Now, one of the first things that you need to go ahead and address is going to be the hood latches. These hood latches are something I picked up on Amazon a long time ago, and I've got to say they have stood up to the test of time. I've had them on here for at least 2 years now, maybe almost 3, and they are really cool. You've got a pin system right there that you pull out, and then you unlatch them the same way that you would the OEM style. But they do secure the hood way more than the factory ones do. If you have a Rubicon 392 like mine here, you're going to get a lot of hood flutter simply because of that intake system, the hydro guide system there. And on the normal JLs too, you're still going to get a little bit of hood flutter, and you basically eliminate that completely with these. So that's the main reason I wanted them, but they also just happen to look good. Now, I've got a link down in the description below for all the stuff that we're going to be talking about today, but I believe these were under $50. So for that price, you literally cannot beat them. And as you can tell, they not only serve a purpose, but they really look a lot better than the factory hood latches that we get on these Jeep Wranglers. Now, moving on to number 2, if you are going to be taking your Jeep Wrangler off-road, like I highly recommend, something you need to address pretty quick is going to be the antenna. So the antenna here on these from the factory is super long. It comes all the way up here. And if you do end up taking it off-road, every time you run into some brush or anything like that, it's going to be slapping the antenna right against your A-pillar, and it'll scratch it up super quick. Now, since I've had so many of these JLs, I already know to go ahead and replace this immediately. And this one was no exception. So I literally went to O'Reilly's and got one of these super short antennas, and it still picks up the radio enough to work. But to be fair with you guys, I don't use the radio in this. I'm always going to be using Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or just Bluetooth on my phone. So I don't need the signal, but you still have to fill that place. So these super short antennas are definitely the move for this. Now, the next product that I cannot recommend enough is going to be the JL Taser. The JL Taser is a module that you plug in underneath your dash, and it gives you access to a lot of features that you don't have from the factory. Not only that, but if you have the Rubicon 392, it actually allows you to put the vehicle in 2-wheel drive, which is super beneficial for many different scenarios. Now, like I said, the Taser mounts right under the dash right here, and then you're able to control everything on the JL Taser with your steering wheel. So just by pressing a few simple buttons, you can go through all the different settings. You can change parameters. You can turn off the seatbelt chime. You can get your fog lights to still work whenever you have your high beams on. You can do so many different things. You can clear codes. You can clear error codes, like if you were running LED taillights whenever yours came with halogens, all kinds of crazy stuff like that, as well as adjust the tire size that you're going to be running. A JL Taser, no matter if you do get custom tuning later on in the future, is something that is going to be extremely beneficial regardless. Now, something else I believe everyone should have actually isn't included in the list, but it is today's video sponsor. AvaPow actually sent out their A68 jump starter. Now, essentially what this is a jump starter that is capable of jump starting any gas vehicle as well as any diesel vehicle up to 12 liters. On the back side, you can see input and outputs right there. This is also going to be a power bank, so you can use it in times where you don't have any access to power, and you're going to have a big flashlight right here as well. Now, what I like about this is how simple it is to operate. So you've actually got a flashlight right there, and you simply press that button right here on the side to turn it back off. You've got your power indicator right here, so it tells you how much life you have. And then we've also got extremely heavy-duty jumper cables. Now, this part right here is what you actually plug into your unit, and then you've got your boost button right here on the side. These jumper cables are super beefy. You can tell you can get those on any terminal that you need to. Putting this thing to use couldn't be any more simple. You've got your plug-in right there. You've got a cover on this. Just uncover it, and then you're able to plug it in right here. And then once you've got it plugged in, you've got a light right here that's indicating it's in standby, and it'll also go to green whenever it's ready. A huge thank you to AvaPow for sponsoring today's video, and if you want to get one of these for yourself, be sure to go down and check them out in the link in the description below. Now let's get back to it. Now moving on to number 5, on the JL Wrangler interior, there are not any factory grab handles up here on the top. All you've got are the grab handles right here. So I ended up getting these metal grab handles with the rubber grip that mount directly into factory holes, so you don't have to do any drilling or anything like that. Now, I don't believe these will work if you have a soft top. I'm not 100% sure, so do your own research with that. And I can tell you for sure, every single person that's went off-road with me has really enjoyed having these grab handles because it gives you a awesome secure point to hold on to, in addition to the oh crap bar right here. Now, I'm about to tell you number 5, and I'm trying to keep it super clean and to the point, but be sure to stick around because I'm going to list a bunch of other accessories that you should definitely look at getting, but it's not something you have to get right now. I don't believe that they qualify to be in the top 5, but they are definitely accessories that you should consider. But nevertheless, on to number 5. I believe if you get a Jeep Wrangler JL, you definitely need to go ahead and invest in some cowl mount pod lights. Now for these right here, I've got specific brackets that will work with the Rubicon 392, as well as the Gladiator Mojave, because they've got a different cowl right here. It's much thicker than the standard Rubicon or the standard Wrangler in general. Its cowl comes all the way down to about right here. So be sure if you're looking for a standard Wrangler or a Rubicon 392, you get the ones that'll fit. I have these down in the link in the description below. They will work for a Rubicon 392 or a standard Wrangler, but if you get the ones that also mount in these locations and up here, you're basically going to be limited to standard Wrangler models. But I definitely think this is something you should consider right away because you're going to add it inevitably. Now for my Rubicon 392 guys, I know a lot of you are actually watching this as well, and there are a few things you should add or get fixed immediately on your Rubicon 392. First of all, you need to go ahead and get a PCM swap or a PCM unlock. That way you can get rid of that speed limiter. No matter whether you have the XR or you have the standard Rubicon, you're going to be limited on your speed, so go ahead and get rid of that. The way I did that is by getting the Diablo tuner. I got the Trinity 2 EX something, but I've got full videos on that as well. The install process was really seamless. Another thing is something that I've already mentioned, the JL Taser. You need that to be able to put this thing into two-wheel drive, which makes it so much more fun to just drive and have fun with. Now back to the normal Wranglers. A few of the extra items that I definitely think you should consider are going to be the Oracle flush mount taillights. This is just going to make a massive difference on the overall look of the vehicle. Another thing you should consider if yours did not come with it from the factory has got to be some all-weather floor mats. Now, all-weather floor mats in Jeep Wranglers, if you're really using them, are super vital. I get mine gummed up all the time, and I've got to say, if I didn't have them, the carpet would already be trashed. Not only that, I do have these seat covers in this. I've got the leather seats from the factory, which are fine, but I wanted to cover them up that way I can protect them. Like I say, I get this thing covered in mud so often that I wanted to keep that factory leather protected, and these do a great job. And of course, if you're going to do any riding at all, you're going to need a winch eventually. Now, if you have a Rubicon with the steel bumper from the factory, a free mod that you can do super quick is just taking off your end caps here. I have to do that to get away with the clearance for these big tires, but even if you have the factory size tires, if you take off those end caps right there, it'll make it look a lot better. But also with that steel bumper, you can go ahead and add a winch extremely easily. I use the Rough Country mounting plate right behind it, and then I mounted up this 13,000 pound synthetic wireless open road winch. I've been super impressed with how these actually work, and for the price, I don't know if there's a better option out there. Now, as you guys know, there are a million things that you could add to your Jeep Wrangler, but whenever you just start fixing up your Jeep, I really think that you should start with the smaller stuff. That way you can make the right decision the first time on your expensive stuff. Because inevitably, if you jump to getting a lift kit, wheels, tires, fenders, all that stuff all at once, you usually look back on it and wish that you got something different. So take your time and do it right the first time. If you guys haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see next. But until then, Godspeed.